What's going on, everybody? Spencer Twitchell here. It's been a minute since I made a video for you guys, but there's some good reasons for that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in today's video. However, the main thing I want to go over today is pretty much what you guys should expect with how much you need to invest into dropshipping up front if you're trying to get started. Honestly, a lot of people tell you that you can get started with like $100 or something as low as that, but realistically, it's a business and you're going to need more money than that. So in this video, I want to talk about that and mainly why, because some things that have been coming up in the last like month for me, just in like over time too. I've had this problem multiple times before, but there's reasons you need more money than just $100 to get started. While you can feasibly get the Shopify plan, run a few ads for under $100, you really do need more money than that, because like any other business, you're gonna run into problems. I've been running into a lot of problems with mine, especially regarding PayPal. PayPal can be a major headache sometimes, but yeah, so pretty much I just want to go over what you can expect in terms of how much money you want to start with, just considering on what you're doing, how often you're going to be testing different products, and what your main goals are, and how you want to advertise, how you want to run your store, if you're even going to use PayPal or not. It depends on a lot of factors. So it is possible to start with a low amount of money if you're just really getting into the space, but you're not going to be able to scale to 6 figures, 7 figures, more than that. It's just not feasible without using PayPal, because the reason, you've all heard the horror stories about PayPal where, people get held hundreds of thousands of dollars, even more than that. You all hear the stories about that, and it just screws over their business in its entirety. Honestly, like, it makes me mad how it works. I get that PayPal needs it for security reasons, but it's ridiculous. They can't just hold, in my opinion, they should not be allowed to hold the money, and I don't even think they're technically allowed to. But anyway, it is what it is, and we just have to work through it. But the reason people even use PayPal is because people trust PayPal, and PayPal knows this. So it's really not good for the sellers, but it is very good for the buyers, because they can just pay easily with PayPal, and then PayPal can hold your money. But the reason you need to use them still is because it will increase your conversion rate. You're just a random store on Facebook if you're advertising with Facebook, if you're doing other stuff. I mean, you're just a random store that no one's heard until they've seen your ads. So they're going to trust PayPal. They're not necessarily going to trust you quite yet. And people have seen up to around like 30 to 40% dips in their conversion rate if they don't use PayPal. That's just what I've seen. I've talked to a lot of people about this, just like if it's worth using it or not. But honestly, guys, PayPal can be the difference between having a winning product and losing a winner. Now, that's a big statement, but the reason for that is, let's just say your conversion rate's 2% with PayPal, but when you take PayPal away, it drops to like a 1.5. Now, that extra little bit of sales could be the difference between bringing your cost per purchase down a little bit to where you can be profitable versus like breaking even. And you can't scale a product that's breaking even. So yeah, so that's why you need PayPal. It can be very, very annoying. I know I've got a little bit sidetracked here about how much money you need to start with, but the reason this is very relevant to how much money you need to start with is because with PayPal, you are going to have holds. There is a very annoying feature of PayPal. It's understandable, but very annoying, that when you first make a new PayPal, or if you're a new seller or anything like that, PayPal is going to hold your money for 21 days, no matter what you do, until the product gets delivered to the customer. So for every sale, you have to get the product delivered to them before they'll release your money. Now, as long as no chargebacks or refunds or anything like that occurs with the customer and everything is fine, you'll get your money and it's perfectly fine. However, the problem arises with that when you start to scale, because you need that money for cash flow. And if you don't have that money and you're trying to scale kind of fast, it can be very problematic. So that's why it's more important to have more money. I'm talking thousands of dollars up front, because PayPal will hold thousands of dollars that you make in sales. It's happened to me. I've been working on a new store recently, and I've started scaling it to doing around like $400, $600 a day. And it's just like, first couple weeks of launch, I found a new winner, so I'm happy for that. But you know, this PayPal thing is just very problematic. I mean, right now my reserves are fine, but it just is like a problem that escalates very quickly, because like if you start making thousands of dollars in sales on PayPal per day, you're gonna run out of money. It just is what it is, because if you're not getting that money, it's gonna just have like $20,000 in PayPal, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you do need to have money in or you just need to have money in the bank when you're starting out, and you can't just do it with like a couple $100s, because PayPal is gonna hold your money and you're gonna get screwed. What I've done in the past is just honestly borrowed money from people. You know, I'm a minor. My dad has been I really appreciate it for my dad, because he's helped me out with stuff like this. Like, he'll kind of lend me the money, and then once it all gets released from PayPal, I'll pay him back, sort of deal. But I mean, a lot of you guys won't have that. A lot of you guys will just be on your own doing whatever. I'm fortunate in that regard, but you guys just have to get creative with this. If you don't have the money, you're gonna have to work for it. I do recommend keeping PayPal though, despite all of that. But there's no exact number I can say that you need to have to start dropshipping. It's in the thousands if you're going to be using PayPal, because you need to expect these holds. But you just need to have enough to where you can effectively run your business while not getting all of the money back from PayPal. I still get the money from Shopify payments. Shopify payments still pays me out regularly every business day. I still get that money, and that's mainly what I'm using to pay for my product costs and advertising costs. But you'll likely still be operating at a loss depending on what product you're selling. Some products attract more PayPal buyers than they do, you know, just on the website as Shopify payments. But pretty much, to sum it all up, you just need to have the money ready if you're going to be using PayPal. I recommend for beginners, maybe if you're just like getting started, maybe doing some influencer shout outs, don't bother with PayPal just to get started, because it'll be a big headache. But for experts and people who really want to start seeing like 6, 7, even 8-figure businesses, or even more than that, you need to be using PayPal. And these are just some of the problems that we dropshippers have to deal with. So yeah, that's all for me for today. Hope you guys liked this video. Hope it was insightful, because it is just the truth of dropshipping. There are problems. It's not as easy as it seems, not as low cost of entry as it seems. It's still very low for a business. Like, I mean, we're just talking thousands of dollars here. Some businesses take like millions. So it's still really not that bad, but it is a headache. So yeah, that's all for me for today. Hope you guys like this new style of video. I know I just haven't posted in a while, so I wanted to get something out there for you guys. But yeah, I've just been really hyper focused on the work that I'm doing, the clients that I'm working with now. Check out the description if you want to work with me, by the way. But yeah, that's all for today. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.